have regrets today from Councillor Ottens, who's not feeling well. Any declaration of pecuniary interest? Seeing none. Item 4.1, which is confirmation of minutes. Moved by Councillor Reid, seconded by Councillor Martin, that the minutes of the Township of Mapleton Council meeting held on May 12th, 2026 be confirmed as circulated in the agenda. Any comments, questions? All in favor? It's carried. Matters arising from the minutes, Mr. Clerk.
Thank you, sir. Just a quick note of apology to those people who struggled with downloading their agenda. We are with iCompass, good company, and we're lucky to be with them, but in this case, it was the worst kind of problem, which is random. So we checked around. Mostly it was working. I checked here, I checked at home, and it was working. But, and Carl checked for me too, it wasn't internal. And the answer was just to republish the agenda. So those who struggle, just let me know as quick as you can and we'll get it fixed up. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. We don't have any matters rising under the Planning Act. Delegations, and we have Conestoga Crest Seniors Living, and with us today we have Chairperson Keith McIntosh. Keith, we are here to talk about your project. Do you want to give just a little bit of an overview? Your pictures are up on the board.
Okay, thanks very much.
Just hit the button there, Keith.
The light's on, it's on. Thank you. Thanks, Mayor Davidson, and thanks so much for welcoming us here today. I've got my fellow Board of Directors and David McCauley and Grace Slott with me, who are all part of this project. We've been providing seniors care in one form or another in Mapleton or Drayton initially, but then Mapleton since 1983. We're a proven operator. We've got 32 units now, which are in very, very high demand. In fact, we can't meet the demand, and so often people don't leave their name on the waiting list because it's too much of a demand. But we're looking at building a new 40-unit on a 3-story facility here, as you can see in the rendering, a combination of 2-bedroom, 1-bedroom, and studio suites. We think it'll be a great addition to the community. As far as seniors care goes, I think it allows within Mapleton to age in place, which is what our vision was when we first came up with the idea. Certainly thanks to Mapleton Council and Wellington County, none of this would have been available. Mayor Davidson, you and I have spoken for some time about this, and certainly the monies that have now been made available are going to be made available are an enabler to make this happen. I can't tell the group how happy we are with the leadership and support we got from yourself, Council, CAO Manny Barron, and Chief of Director of Finance Patrick Kelly. It was just an absolute pleasure to move through to where we are today. We are presently working on with architects and engineering firms, et cetera, to get all of the upfront work done. We're getting very close to that. We're getting very close to selecting an architect done. We've selected an architect, so it's an exciting project. Certainly, we're going to continue to need the support of our federal government, the Canadian government, and our provincial government to realize this project. The monies we're getting from Mapleton are certainly instrumental. The monies that we're going to raise ourselves with the support of the local community are key, but certainly we're looking to Build Canada, which is a federal program, to help us with a large share of the monies that we're going to need. So again, on behalf of Conestoga Crest Board of Directors, I'd like to thank Mapleton Township and Wellington County for your support. We've got an opportunity to really do something in these communities that's going to serve it for the next 50 to 75 years, and I think that's exciting. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Keith. And as you alluded to, Wellington County Council approved the Community Housing Development Fund policy back in May of 2025 based on the funds previously raised for the Continuum of Care project. And the goal is to develop development of housing to address the availability gap between low and market housing and subsidized housing. To speak a little bit more about that, we have Warden of the County, Chris White. Chris.
Thanks, Craig. Yeah, I guess I'm sure you're all well aware of the housing scenario we've got in the county and throughout. And so we ended up with $7 million out of the continuum of care. We weren't sure what to do with it. We could have just returned it to social services for regular housing. But we thought with each of the townships trying to struggle and come up with some innovative ways to come up with some housing, we just thought give everybody $1 million. It's seed money. I mean, what's $1 million get you? A set of stairs? But I mean, so we're doing that locally. We're doing some seniors, and there's a big demand for that. And each of the townships are coming up with little innovative ways, and we're trying to be as flexible as possible to make sure that this money can get out the door and bring some housing in. So great project you guys have brought forward. The thing looks fantastic. Greg, you've been working hard on this, and so we're really pleased to have this money find a home because there are tight deadlines. And so if you can get the money and get housing built, then I think we're ahead of the curve. So I just want to thank your council for supporting it and for someone showing up with an idea. That's what we're looking for.
Great. Thanks, Warden. Council, I do have the resolution moved by Councillor Martin, second by Councillor Reid, that Township of Mapleton Council receive for information the delegation of Conestoga Crest Seniors Living Chairperson Keith McIntosh regarding the recognition and presentation of the Township of Mapleton's contribution of $1 million, with the first installment being $500,000. Any questions from council members or comments from council members on this project? All in favor? Now I invite, thank you, that's carried. I invite members of Conestoga Crest as well as the warden, and we have here Earl Campbell, who's our county councillor, come to the front and we'll take a photo. Big check.
To the front.
Down the front, we're going to squeeze in a little bit here, people in the front. Keith, I need you to hold that check there. Oops. Oh, get the right side up, and everyone else has got to squeeze in.
Squeeze in.
Yep, squeeze in.
Okay, we gotta get closer.
Can we get? Right, thank you very much. Thanks very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. No, it's good.
Thank you. Yes.
Thanks very much.
All right, it's great to see that project, and wow. There's a lot of work goes behind the scenes to get these projects off the ground, and I know that Conestoga Crest and their board of directors have done a lot of work behind the scenes to get it to a point where they had this concept drawing. And I can remember Keith asking me to come and have a chat with him about what they would like to do, and that was a couple of years back. And when this opportunity came around for the $1 million, we kicked the can around here about who it was going to go to, and then I contacted Manny. I said, Manny, what about this project? And he goes, hey, that'll really work out well. So we contacted Keith and had a great conversation with Keith. And what started out to be 20 units is now 40 units more, which is fantastic for the community. And it's all because of this $1 million from the County of Wellington's program that was provided to the township so that we could actually do something in our community for seniors. So I think this is fantastic. Thank you, everyone. Moving along. We now have Mapleton Historical Society here. I got Karen Smart here. So Karen, just come up to the podium, and whoever's here with you, come up to the podium. Thank you.
Yeah, I would just like to introduce you to Abby Cooper here, who will be speaking first.
Good evening, Mayor Davidson and council members. Thank you for the opportunity to speak with you today. My name is Abby Cooper. I'm the Executive Director of Hearts Open for Everyone, HOPE. And I'm here alongside our committee members, Karen Smart, who you already know from the Mapleton Historical Society, and Denise Dickinson, who's also part of HOPE, to share a project that is putting our region on the map, and that is the Queensbush Settlement Mural Project. This is a story of endurance, collaboration, and a history that's literally under our feet here in the township of Mapleton. Karen's up next.
So a lot of this, I hope, will be old hat to you, but in case not, we're going to fill you in on some background here. To understand this project, we have to look back to the late 1830s. At that time, this area was known as the Queensbush, was a vast, unorganized territory, yet a thriving community of 2,000 black pioneers, many seeking freedom and a place to belong, carved out a life in the wilderness here. They weren't just passing through. They were people of deep conviction, grit, and service, and many arrived having served during the Mackenzie Rebellion and the 1838 border incursions, looking to establish permanent, multi-generational roots. Well, the settlement eventually spanned modern municipal boundaries. Mapleton, and specifically historic Peel, became the most significant part of this, with clearings, homesteads, and resilient families. The photograph shown here on the presentation slide, this is an incredibly popular photograph because there are so few of the Queensbush people. This one was taken in 1920 in this township. Shows Edward Hisson, his wife Mabel Lawson, with their 4 daughters, Elsie, Annabelle, Ada, and that's baby Alice in her grandmother Mary Ann Lawson's arms. Mabel and Edward built this family home along Sailing Club Road, which of course at that time did not exist, in 1912. Edward passed away in 1949, but the house remained Mabel's home for 62 years until her death in 1974. Edward, Mabel, and their sons are buried right here in Glen Allen Cemetery. So, why Mapleton? Because this is our distinct history. If you speak with elders of the community today and ask what they recall of the historic black presence here, the very first name that you're going to hear is Normie Hisson. Norman was Mabel and Edward's son. His great-grandfather, Dangerfield Lawson, came to Queensbush with his 4 children in May of 1844 and settled on the 7th concession. When Norman Hisson left Glen Allen 143 years later, it marked the departure of the very last local direct descendant of Mapleton's Queensbush Hope pioneers. For many years, the profound history that's been kept alive by dedicated local groups from Mapleton Historical Society, however, it hasn't yet been woven into a shared, highly visible regional legacy. When we look at the origins of Mapleton's farms, we see a story of incredible physical determination. Black pioneers cleared the dense forest and built the first homesteads, and later black and white settlers worked together as neighbors to build the literal foundations of Mapleton today. Black excellence has been a functional part of this township identity for nearly 2 centuries. Through this mural, we're hoping that we can finally honor a story that's been right here the entire time. Our vision is a large-scale, professionally curated mural at Earthscape Play in Wallenstein, located on one of the prominent street-facing buildings on Line 86. Our advisory committee brings together an incredible wealth of experience that includes representation from, of course, Mapleton Historical Society, as well as Tracy Lee, who's a 5th-generation descendant of the original Queensbush pioneers. Working alongside our other Black, Mennonite, and Indigenous committee members, they ensure that every single detail of this project is deeply accurate, collaborative, and rooted in historic truth. We've already secured internationally recognized artist Kalkanen Asefa to lead the design, and he has already delivered the second of 3 collaborative drafts. However, this remains a project created by the community, not just for it. Neighbors, residents, and descendants have been coming together at our workshops to share the specific stories, family names, and local symbols that they want to see immortalized in that wall. We're doing the work to ensure this mural is a permanent, accurate landmark that our entire region can be proud of when we officially reveal it this summer on August the 15th. And I'll pass you on to Abby now.
That's okay. We changed things out. This project is a major driver of regional tourism. We've already secured the support of RTO4, Explore Waterloo Region, Wellington County, and Guelph Tourism because they recognize the high value of historical tourism. To give you an idea of the scale and the emotional pull of this project, we already have descendants from across the United States planning their travel to our region for the reveal event in August. This represents a direct economic benefit to Mapleton's hospitality sector, creating measurable tourism traffic for our independent retailers and local agricultural businesses. To give you a sense of the opportunity, the neighboring Kissing Bridge Trail welcomed 193,000 visitors in 2025, primarily cycle tourists from Guelph and Toronto seeking local culture, landscape, and history. By placing this mural along Line 86, we position Mapleton to capture even a small share of that steady visitor flow, converting pass-through traffic into meaningful engagement with your community and giving those travelers a compelling reason to stop, reflect, and spend time in Mapleton. Earthscape has proactively set up the space specifically for visitors, including dedicated parking spaces and a thinking bench for reflection. There will be a large interpretive sign with a QR code linking visitors to an interactive map on our website, complete with multilingual translation tools and fully accessible fonts. This digital experience will also guide tourists to other sites of interest, local agribusinesses, and historical landmarks throughout Mapleton and the surrounding area.
We're incredibly proud of the public-private partnership driving this vision. Our partner, Earthscape Play, is dedicating $30,000 toward the artist and site infrastructure. And the remaining $36,000 of our $66,000 goal covers the critical work managed by HOPE and the advisory committee, which includes deep dive historical research, extensive community outreach, and a landmark reveal event. This portion also enables us to invest in durable, sustainable engagement tools, from a digital driving map to QR-linked content and interactive materials that ensure the project continues to educate and inspire long after the mural is unveiled. We've already secured $6,000 from our regional tourism partners, including the collaborative funds from Wellington County, and HOPE is currently backstopping the remaining costs with our own internal funds to ensure we stay on schedule for the August reveal. We're seeking support from every local municipality connecting to this history. Mapleton's own municipal cultural plan explicitly identifies artistic and cultural diversity and cultural mapping as foundational pillars for defining your community's identity and advancing economic development and building civic pride. Our project does exactly that, tangible mapping out of Mapleton's own Black pioneer heritage, like the Hisson family lineage, and transforming it into a shared cultural resource that supports cultural learning, deepens community identity, and strengthens long-term civic capacity for residents and visitors alike. Your cultural plan also states that Mapleton's long-term sustainability relies on regional collaboration. Because of this project, Bridges, Mapleton, Wellesley, Woolwich, and Wellington County, supporting us is a direct, actionable investment in that mandate. We ask Council to consider the local significance of this project when determining discretionary fund allocations for the year. Beyond financial support, in-kind contributions such as assistance with local promotion, staff coordination, or historical archiving in partnership with the Mapleton Historical Society would make a tangible difference. To have the Township of Mapleton as an official partner ensures that the stories of your pioneers are told with the dignity, reach, and economic impact that it truly deserves. Thank you, and we welcome any questions that you might have.
Well, thank you for the presentation. That's an amazing project coming to this area, and we know Earthscape is a fantastic organization to work with, and obviously you guys are very passionate about your project that you're having here, and I think it's great. And, well, we had the plaque stolen, right? So this is actually something really, really good to put in place that, on a big scale, can't be taken away by somebody. So, congratulations, fantastic. Questions, comments?
Just making sure you're okay over there. Thank you for the presentation today. I love it when folks come in here and quote our own documents, like our CIP and all that stuff, so I think that's wonderful. For next steps, as far as what Mapleton's contribution could look like, I know you talk about permitting, promotion, coordination, that type of stuff. I'm assuming that's something that would come through the CIO's office to see what it is we can do, and then we could anticipate maybe a report back with something that we could actually look at, rather than trying to concoct that all on the spot today. But yeah, just thank you. Like the mayor said, Earthscape has been a wonderful partner on a bunch of different projects locally here in Mapleton, and you know, we've certainly got nothing but great things to say about them, so the fact that you guys are partnering with them is wonderful too. So it looks like an amazing project.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anything further? That's great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We'll be in touch. Resolution I have here is moved by Councillor Martin, second by Councillor Reid, that council receive for information and delegation of Mapleton Historical Society Representative Karen Smart, and from Hope, Denise Dickinson, and we have Abby Cooper regarding the Strategic Partnership Queens Bush Settlement Mural Project and Mapleton Cultural Plan regarding the opportunity for the Township of Mapleton to officially join the partnership and provide formal support for this regional landmark partnership. Anything further? Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Can we include or amend that for a request for a report back?
Correct. Seconder for the, Councilor Woodham, thank you. All in favor to the amendment? It's carried. So tag on the line there, and the CEO or staff will report back on how we can support this project. Anything further? All in favor? It's carried. Thank you, everyone. Next, we have up 7.3, we have Dorothy Keller. Dorothy, welcome. We're not in a rush. Take your time.
I forgot my cane. Sorry. As you know, Greg, I've had my house up for sale. I lost the sale due to my neighbors. Now, I understood that this was going to get cleaned up, and the rooster was going to have to go, but it's just the same as it was. I took pictures today that it's the very same. I had the rat guy come into my home again today, and there's still rats in there. Now, in all the years I have lived out there, I have never, ever had a rat until these people put their chickens and their goats and left their manure there. And even the rat guy says that's where they're coming from. I was offered Somebody else offered me some money for the house. 10.1 acres of land, 3-bedroom house, and a big workshop garage. $540,000. Because of the rats. Ooh, like, we gotta do something. I can't stand another winter out there, Greg. That's why I wanted to get it cleaned up and get my place sold. And I've had a lot of interest, but as soon as they find out about rats, nope. Or they give me a ridiculous low offer, so I'm asking you, please, can we not clean up this mess? That's going to stink to high heaven come summer.
Thank you, Dorothy.
Thank you.
Michelle? Michelle, do you have comments for this?
Thank you. Through you, Mayor. The Officer Clemens has sent out notification with a deadline and has followed up on the situation. The deadline is not up yet, but I know that Officer Clemens did attend earlier this week, which obviously means yesterday because it's only Tuesday today, and the applicant or the person in question did ask why were we there so much sooner, and it was to at least be able to give an update to council that things have progressed. They're not complete, that is absolutely correct, but it is in progress.
Thank you. So Mrs. McCabe has answered the question, saying that there is a deadline that was put on by the bylaw officer. That deadline has not been met yet. So when that deadline comes up, well, do we know when that deadline is? I do not know. We could actually, we can get that information. We can get that information to Dorothy. Okay. We won't.
Sorry, Mayor, we do not divulge
Deadline.
case information. I mean,
Okay.
I can certainly provide a deadline, but we don't do follow-up other than we have been out, it has been documented, letters have been sent, and we just have to give them their time. And like I said, we did go out so that we could give an update here to council as well as to for Dorothy, for you can now relay that to her.
Okay.
No, you can absolutely tell her. Oh, and I would absolutely tell you that, I just don't have it in, I just mean, but we just don't give out details, is all.
Okay, so nothing, so it's just a waiting thing that I tell her then?
No, I absolutely can follow up with you tomorrow.
Oh, okay, all right.
Any questions from members of council? Okay, thank you. The resolution here, 7.3, moved by Councilor Reid, second by Councilor Martin. Township Mapleton Council received for information delegation of Dorothy Keller of 7858 Side Road 21, Arthur, regarding the repercussions of her neighbor's livestock. Anything further from council? All in favor? It's carried. Moving on to item number 9. So we have Close to Home, the Good Neighbor Project. Sounds like a great project. Can't wait to hear all about it, Helen.
Through you, Mayor Davidson. Yes, I just am here to give a progress report on a project that we're starting here in the Township of Mapleton called the Good Neighbor Project. In In my report, I had mentioned a bit of the background regarding this project. In September of '25, we had a seniors advisory group meeting, and part of our strategic plan, some of the members thought that it would be a great opportunity to meet some unmet needs of seniors in our community. And this was the way we decided that we would try and launch the program. I would like to say that when we came to the township to meet with Manny and Michelle and Amy, we really appreciated their enthusiasm for the program. And in fact, we were surprised to leave with our very first volunteer, Manny Barron himself. So, I mean, it really says something when you'll put your time behind a project. So just bringing this to council for information, just letting you know what we were thinking in terms of how the project would look. So next slide, please. And we can just, and that is the link to the Google site that we set up while we were making sort of a draft to have a look to see how the program might work. And so that is a live link in the presentation, so people can check that out if they would like to. Next slide, please. So we know that Mapleton has good, strong community and good roots, and that's why we want to start here, because we feel like we have a good chance of getting some volunteers to come out and help us with the program. So the idea is to meet seniors' unmet needs with community members that can meet that need. So it sounds kind of simple, but there are many things that don't take a lot of time that seniors find challenging. So I was noticing with our last person, when they were making their presentation, how hard it is for them to get around. So imagine a senior with mobility issues just trying to put out their blue box in the wintertime. Now, that's something that takes us 15 seconds, maybe 30 seconds, we get to our car and forget that we were supposed to put it out. But for someone who has mobility issues, it can be really challenging to get that blue box to the curb. And it's something that a good neighbor could do in 20 seconds. So we're not necessarily asking people, we know how busy everyone is, to dedicate hours and hours of their time, but to put out what they're able to do, and then the seniors will be matched with the volunteer. So next slide, please. So we wanted to find an easy way to make this work. So we created, and I say we, this was all the work of Johanna Brown. If it was the work of we, as in myself, it would be two little squares. This is totally beyond me. So Johanna created these two forms, and basically I need help or I can help. So the I need help can be filled out by a senior themselves or a family member, and it clicks to a form where they can indicate what the need is. And I can help is the same for the volunteer. So they are able to indicate what kind of things they're able to offer, whether it's picking up someone's groceries, whether it's taking out someone's garbage, whether it's doing a fall leaf cleanup, those kinds of tasks. And so those two forms will take you to an application. So it's pretty easy to move through the application itself. Next slide, please. So, yeah, and this is just draft because we need the help of Amy and Michaela to get this so that it's incorporated actually in the Mapleton website. This is a Google website, which is not compatible, but we wanted to get our ideas together in a draft form and thought that was the easiest way. So, and next slide, please. And so here's the volunteer application. And when it's in Google, then it was populate a spreadsheet that we would be able to go to, so we would be aware of when someone had filled out the sheet. Next slide. So this is just like around bridging the generations, and we do think that the older adults in Mapleton bring so much to the community. And you don't have to look around very far to see where seniors are keeping things going in our community. If you look at any of the historical societies or the church groups or service clubs, many, many seniors dedicating their time to keeping this community strong. Next slide, please. And so we also made some draft social media posts to indicate what we're looking for. So we have 2 of those. And next slide, please. And so this sort of indicates what we were thinking. And with the help of Amy and Michaela and your guidance, would like to bring to the township. So I would say that we always, we know from our interactions with seniors what a lot of the needs are, but these forms allow specific needs that the senior has identified. And we always try to get this message across that asking for help isn't a sign of weakness. So we often have people who don't recognize when they need help, and then that's when they have a fall or something happens to their health. But if you do reach out when you do need help, it's actually a sign of strength and insight into where you are in your journey. And so we feel that Mapleton is the absolute right place to start this initiative. So thank you, and I am happy to take any questions.
Great, thank you, Helen. Resolution moved by Councilor Reid, seconded by Councilor Martin, that council receive report CTH 2026-02 for information. Questions to Helen? Councilor Woodham.
Thank you. Through you, Mayor Davidson, just more a comment. I just wanted to say thank you so much for all the work that the Seniors for Excellence does. I know in my former position of working with the Maribel Township Housing Corporation, it was difficult for some of the seniors just even to shovel off their patio once in a while, right? So this is a great opportunity. I'm not sure. I'm kind of on the fence. I will volunteer, but pretty soon I'll be a senior too, so. But no, I don't need help yet. But definitely, I think it's a fabulous opportunity, and I think you will be surprised how many volunteers you will have to assist our seniors in Mapleton. Thank you.
Thank you.
Other comments or questions? Councilor Martin.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. You don't often get questions, so
No,
we're gonna keep
I
this
was
ball
like
rolling.
2?
So I would echo Councilor Woodham's comments. It seems like a really great program and a platform. The question I have is how it gets operationalized. So I love the fact that you're doing VSCs and all that stuff, right? Like protecting, our vulnerable population it's a must, right? But how does it work in the background if you've got people? So how does Manny know what to volunteer for if he's not sure what the actual needs are, and how, is that something that somebody on the background facilitates and joins up? I know for myself, if you can offer something, maybe your capabilities are multi-platform, and cut grass, do a whole bunch of things, but if there's another need out there that's not identified by somebody, how do you bridge that gap?
We were kind of struggling with what do we get first? Do we get the volunteers and then have them sort of let us know what they're interested in? Or do we get the seniors, but if we have the seniors first and we don't have anyone to match them with, it's very disappointing, right? Because seniors hear that a lot. Oh, I'm sorry, there's a wait list for that. So what we were hoping to do to get the program started was when we have our volunteers sign up, when we get those needs in, would be to say, to contact the volunteers and say, this is the need that we have, because we don't know the specific needs, so people could be telling us all kinds of things, and then someone gets in touch with us and says, I need this, and we're like, oh. So that was how we were hoping to get the first few connections going, and I think as we get requests, we'll be able to finesse the application form too, so that we can take off some of the things that we never are asked for and add things that come up on a regular basis. So it will sort of be an evolving type thing. So we hope to have the information on the Mapleton website for July 1st to go live. And then we will, we will hopefully be getting lots of volunteers. And I honestly think even if we had to start like a half dozen good volunteers, we would find that we would be able to help a lot of people with that, because a lot of these tasks aren't major tasks, like the garbage is an example. That does not take anyone any length of time to do. And also, like, I kind of envision a bit of a education program. I don't want to say like education, people just kind of roll their eyes, right? But just sort of having some success stories, and maybe Tony down the road doesn't ever volunteer for us, but he hears about how somebody had help with getting their getting their garbage out, their blue box, and then he's like, oh, Mabel down the street, I could lend a hand to Mabel. And it's never through this official program, so it's sort of like we want to have two. We want it to spread with our own volunteers, but we also want people to kind of open up their eyes and look around and see how they can help their community. That was a very long answer, so no wonder no one ever asked me a question.
Actually, I take your answer as, as long, but usually Councillor Martin's questions are quite long as well, so it works out. Anything further? Councillor Reid.
Thank you, through your mayor. I know that this is very much directed to adults helping adults. Has there been any thought to like our younger adult community or teens mowing lawns and doing things, or is that not something in this scope yet? Like if I have a son who's 12 and he'd help the world if he could, but like putting garbage out and stuff, is that something that we could foresee happening? Like if there's easier tasks for local neighbors?
I see that. Yes, I do. I think that's great. And the one thing that's great about intergenerational relationships is that it fosters different conversations and different relationships, because when we're with our peers, and I'm older myself, right? And when I sit around with a bunch of my friends, like we all kind of talk about, well, gosh, is this happening to you or is that happening? But if I'm sitting with a group of younger people, the conversation changes, right? And I think there's a great benefit to both groups for that. So I could see how that could happen. It's just, we would need to put some thought into how to engage those younger people, because the younger people, if they're engaged right from the get-go, then they grow up to be fantastic volunteers and fantastic community members. So it needs some thought for sure, but it's a great one.
Councillor Martin, got a follow-up? Okay. I'll call the question. All in favor? It's carried. Thank you. Thank you, Helen.
Thank you.
Moving on to 9.2, Aman, your report, thank you.
Thank you, everyone. This report is for information regarding the awards of contracts, RFP 2025-17 Hot Mix Paving, and RFT 2026-04 Bridge MB002 Replacement. The detailed breakdown of both projects is included within the report for Council's review. The 2026 Hot Mix Paving Program was tendered in December of last year, 2025, which was significantly earlier than we have done in previous years and prior to many municipalities finalizing their budgets. So by going to the market early, the township was able to take advantage of more favorable conditions. As we all know, contractors had greater availability at the time, which allowed them to better plan their crews and avoid increases in fuel costs, labor, and material costs, which ultimately led to more competitive bid pricing. Also, clarification to the report I want to say is like the awarded amount of $965,527.55 reflects only the paving tender itself. the total cost of the paving program will be higher, as it also includes the additional components such as pulverizing the existing asphalt, placement of granular A, shoulder gravel, line painting, as well as our internal staff costs for labor and equipment. These items were not included in the tendered amount, but will be tracked as a part of the overall project. While we do anticipate that there will be a lot of cost saving, the exact amount is not yet known. And everything else has been included for the MB002 project. It was well within the budget, and we're here to answer any questions if the council has. Thank you.
Thank you, Ahmad. Resolution 921, moved by Councilor Martin, second by Councilor Reid, that council receive report FIN 2026 Task 22 regarding the award of contracts for the 2026 hot mix paving program and the replacement of bridge MB002 for information. Questions for Ahmad? Councilor Woodham.
Thank you. Through you, Mayor Davidson, a question to Amon then. So, thank you for clarifying that, because I was trying to do the math. So we're thinking that it could be up to 1.3 million for the pulverizing existing asphalt supply and delivery of the road granule A then, because that's the difference, or we feel that it would be less than that?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, I would anticipate that the total cost would be less than $1.3 million. Like, we have already tendered out the gravel and the pulverizing, and while I do have those numbers, other numbers are yet to be determined, like our internal costs and equipment. We have also never really gone out for tender that far, like, in advance. Like, we went out, like, 2025, I did 2 paving tenders for 2025 and 2026. So there will be cost savings, not 1.3, because we still have to, like, account for all those costs. But I think after Patrick would be able to speak to that a little bit.
Sure. Thanks, Amon, and through you, Mayor. Yeah, I think we did kind of predict, not to this extent of savings, of what can happen when we get this budget approved in a timely manner and tenders out on the street quickly. Obviously, having Amon on our team to have these tenders ready to go with support from Jim and the rest of the folks on their side is huge. The fact that council approved a budget late in 2025 and we can get tenders on the street, this shows the true benefit to that. At the same time, we do build budgets based on what our general market price is at the time. Asphalt price index pieces can inflate the cost substantially the longer that you wait. So while we did have savings on this project in this year, there will be other projects that didn't get out as early where we'll see some cost overruns or closer to the budget. I'd say the township does a really good job of estimating our need. Last year, you'll recall, we did get external funding for Side Road 15, and when that external funding showed up, we brought forward a report that said, hey, now that we have excess funding, maybe we considered another project. The challenge with that this year, because maybe I'm just inferring what council might be thinking, but the challenge with that this year, if we were to try and say we've saved on this one, let's jam in another project, we don't have projects that are ready to go for those funds. So essentially, whatever savings we realize at the end of the year, at the end of this project, when all costs are incurred, they don't go anywhere. They go directly into the Infrastructure Reserve Fund and get used for future capital. So hope that adds a little more context.
Thank you. Further questions? Iman, can you advise council and the huge audience we have online, how many kilometers are we doing this year of paving?
We're doing 9.36 kilometers of paving this year.
That's amazing. Thank you so much. If there's nothing further, all in favor? It's carried. Moving on to Public Works, which is preliminary acceptance of Block 90 Glen Avalon subdivision. So I have the resolution here, moved by Councilor Woodham, seconded by Councilor Reid, The council receive report PW 2026-06 regarding Block 90 Glenavalid subdivision for information, and further, council accept the recommendation from R.J. Burnside and Associates Limited and grant preliminary acceptance of Block 90 of the Glenavalid subdivision. Any questions from council on this report? All in favor? It's carried. Next, we have a report on the Moorfield and Drayton concession booths. Jim? Okay, Patrick.
Thanks, Mayor Davidson, and Amy Gross is unavailable for the meeting tonight, so I said I'd cover for her on this one. So essentially, council did direct staff to explore the potential to open up concession booths at both Ball Diamonds in Moorfield and in Drayton. So what this report simply does is asks for council's approval to issue an RFP, which would go out a pretty simple RFP, which again, we got Amon's expertise to help out with that, would go out on the street to seek anybody that might be interested in running the concession booth or concession booths. It would be evaluated in our regular process for evaluating them and then brought back to council to determine whether we want to move forward with that option. So it's a fairly simplistic report, but more outlines that we don't have the resources internally on staff to open up and run a concession booth, and we weren't interested in hiring staff and managing those concession booths. But if somebody from the public is interested in it, wants to put in a proposal, it'll be available, and we'll advertise it in the public for that.
Thank you, Mr. Kelly. Resolution I have, moved by Councillor Reid, second by Councillor Woodham. The council receive report REC 2026-03 regarding the Moorfield and Drayton concession booths, and further, council approve the issuance of an RFP for the operation of outdoor seasonal concessions within municipal parks. Questions? Councilor Martin.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just want to say thank you for the report. I'm assuming, Patrick, kind of what you inferred, that there would be the ability for somebody to do one or both, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. Ball season's underway. Lights are on an awful lot. There's certainly a lot of noise happening down there, so it sounds like the timeline's pretty aggressive too, so I think that should be excellent. Thank you.
Thank you. Anything further? All in favor? It's carried. On to item 10, which is approval of bylaws. 10.1, moved by Councillor Woodham, second by Councillor Reid, that bylaw number 2026-029, being a bylaw to dedicate certain lands within the township of Mapleton as part of a public highway, be hereby read a first, second, and third time, and finally passed this 26th day of May, 2026. Questions on any of these? All in favor? It's carried. Nothing on item 11. We have item 12 there. A number of items from Pushledge. Anybody wish to speak to any of these 17 items? Not seeing any. We'll move to item 13. Any notices of motion? Item 15, other business. All right. Move to item 16. Moved by Councillor Reid, second by Councillor Woodham. The Township Mapleton Council move into a closed session to consider the following subject matters: the security of the property of the municipality and personal matters about an identifiable individual, including municipal employees. All in favor? Very good. It's carried. 10-minute recess.